Yeah, man. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, something like that. So, last night I was dealing with these guys attacking my face and my eyes real bad. And then um, finally fell asleep. And when I woke up, it wasn't quite as bad. And I was thinking, wow, I'm glad I can appreciate not being attacked while I sleep. Um, well, they're not having any of that. They just decided to go ahead and start attacking immediately. Now, they've been all in my eyes ever since for the last 30, 40 minutes that I've been up. Uh, I want to talk about network protocol. So, I talk about learning programming and stuff like that, and that's really the basics, and that's the only real way that we're gonna get out of this situation is to really start to learn these things. But a lot of people don't really understand where to get started and and neither do I really. But I work on it all the time, like just trying to learn things. Um, Maybe I'll go to school for it. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna keep learning it either way. But I think that it's important for people to understand, for you guys to understand that network stuff, network protocol, um, it is programming, and it is a huge part of programming, and it really may be the most important part of programming that um, that we need to be looking into. Really, uh, I was hanging out with somebody a while back, and I was pretty sure they know what was going on, and I was talking to this person's father, and he's a hacker or something like that, a programmer. Yes, just call it what you want to, but you could call it a hacker, I guess, is if somebody's doing things maliciously with it. I don't know. Programmer is somebody that just knows it like a professional. I would assume that, but um, they want us to set each other up just like they all did. Look, they want to set us up any way they can. It's funny. A gang stalker. If you go and tell everybody that this gang stalker is doing this, or this gang stalker sells meth, or this gang stalker uh, uses mind control to rape people, or something like that. If you go and do that, then um, they'll quickly say, "Oh, you're a snitch now. You're a snitch now." But they don't have any boundaries or rules to what they'll do. They'll completely use the police and the judicial system to set you up to go to jail. Literally, you'll try to set you up for criminal charges and to go to. I swear to God, I've sat in jail um, over the course of this whole thing. Um, I've sat in jail close to a year of the 7 years that on like three different occasions, close to a year added up. And every single bit of it was because of these gang stalkers on some setup stuff. Okay. And, even if something gets thrown out, it doesn't matter. If you sat in jail for 3 months, because they try to make you look like a dangerous, crazy person and then it gets thrown out, it doesn't matter. You lost that time in your life. You lost those wages. You lost that time and your freedom and your rights. And so they're quick to set somebody up, man. They set me up a few times, and I have to watch for that all the time. I have to watch for them trying to set me up. Everything they talk about is leading towards some kind of setup. Um, but yeah, this person that I was talking to, their father was a programmer, and he gave me this book on Python. Said, learn this stuff. And the person I was hanging out with, maybe they might be a gang stalker, but uh, definitely having some access to that kind of stuff, maybe. But I wondered if it might be trying to throw me in the wrong direction, because I really know a lot about what's going on. I'm not a good programmer, but I know a lot about what these gang stalkers do and the things that they use, and I know that network protocol is a big deal. You got to know about that kind of stuff. And I know that they use PHP a lot, especially with like Facebook and stuff like that. They like to write their applications and things in PHP, and when they use the API and integrate Facebook into a website and put our neural monitoring into that and everything, it's usually PHP that they write in. But yesterday I started thinking, I was like, hold on, man, really, like, I know that you can use coding, like programming, to work with network stuff. And really anything you do with computer stuff, you use coding even in network stuff. So it's important to remember that. And I started to think about it, and I was like, well, let me, network coding or network protocol or network programming or something. I started looking into that, and I started finding a lot of stuff about Python, where people use Python and Python is a language just like JavaScript or PHP or something like that. So Python is a language that they use with computer stuff. And a lot of these languages have many similarities, okay? And sometimes the syntax is just a little different. And when I say the syntax, it's like, a curly brace here or a square bracket or whatever, semicolons, and where all that stuff goes. And it's like anything else. If you do it every day, all the time, it'll just start to be natural to you, and it's not as hard as it seems, I try to remember these type of things because sometimes you approach something and it's so difficult. But, I think about when I spin poi. I started spinning poi years ago, and a couple years ago, and, I was working on it, and at the beginning, you spin these things around, it's awkward, and you can't figure out how to weave them or how to spin them this way or behind your back or anything. Like, you hit yourself upside the head, and in the private area, it's like, oh, and I remember that. And the best way I remember that is when somebody says, can I try? And I'm like, yeah, okay. You're about to whack yourself. But so I hand them my poi, and they start spinning them, and they're like, whoa, it's like, it takes a lot of coordination and practice. But I could grab them and just like, spin them all kind of ways and everything. And to me, it's easy. And it's easy to forget how hard it was when I started. And it's the same with this stuff, this coding stuff. It's the same with anything. You do something, and it's very difficult. But if you do it every day for a year, it's no longer difficult. It's just natural. It's something you can do. I can feel a broadcast penetrating my skull right here, right now. I got this situation where it's the Howard Circle guys, okay? They punish me when I start to talk about these kind of things. But network protocol. I was watching this video yesterday where, because I'm like, yeah, I know you can use language to write the network how you want it to be. And that's how we can write them right out of our devices. And that's how we can write, you could write a little statement and say, if or let, one of them functions, if somebody has a local host, make sure that it exposes the real IP address or something like that. And you can make that a rule on your network through coding. And you could do things like that. And I was watching this video where this guy was showing how you could use Python and write this script that it's basically showing you how to hack into websites and stuff like that. And it's not something that I want to do, is hack into somebody's website, but I want to know how everything's done. Because if they can do something to you, to your network, to your devices, to your accounts, then if you learn how to do those things, you can stop them from doing it. And look, if they've got, say they open up a website, they buy a domain, gangstalkkevin.com, and then they go to that website and start building it, or they start building that website in a text editor or something, and they write in the script of it, and so they'll have, at some point somewhere, they'll have the neural monitoring that they've got linked into that. It's going to be in the script, okay? And maybe it's not in the script, maybe it's a string, okay, where they've assigned this the neural monitoring to a certain thing, you know, where, and it's in their database, where when they write this, if they write you know, K9 on the readout, then that means the whole neural monitoring, and it's a string that's identified and labeled into their database, like SQL or something, and it's something that they've created, you know, let this equal this, and then, you know, this you just write that little thing instead of the thing you don't want people to find. But I bet you there's a way to write, you know, let a string show the real identity of that. What is it really? There's ways to do everything, all of this stuff. If they can hide it, you can unhide it. If they can get on your stuff, you can get them off your stuff. And so I'm thinking, like, I know PHP is important and just HTML and basic web development is important, but I think network protocol might be the most important. And clicking around on settings, that ain't it. All right, when you start clicking around on settings, you could go into the script, the coding, the programming text where the user interface is written and move a button. It don't exist anymore. It does, but it's like hide that. Right? Unhide it. Go into the source code of everything, and we got to figure out how to get down and dirty into the whole thing. And just trying to click around on buttons, that ain't it, because they can move a button or they can hide a button, and you got to figure out what this string equals and what buttons are hidden. And you know, we got to be able to understand the coding of this stuff, because that's everything they do is it's on the internet. Everything they do is on the internet. Everything they do is on the internet. Even if they're only just accessing their own neural monitoring through their own devices and they're not a gang stalker, it's still all done over the internet, over the web. They're accessing some site or some, you know, if it's not a site, then it's some script that you write in to call up a API or something. I don't know exactly. Okay, I've found a whole lot of stuff over the years, and very soon I'm gonna start digging in to all of the stuff that I found. And I bought a duplicator machine, and I'm just gonna start duplicating hard drives and or memory cards and everything, and I have a copy, and then I'll just go in and dig around and find whatever I want to find. And a lot of the stuff, if I find their stuff and I can't make any headway on it legally, it's going to be available for the whole world. Watch and see. Watch when I contact Samsung and Apple and Windows and Android, and I contact all of these entities and companies, whatever, and I say, hey, you know, these hackers are using these scripts, and I've intercepted them, you know, and they use like these little packages, you know, to get into everything. And if they don't want to respond or anything, I'm gonna say, okay, well, fine, I tried, but let me see if anybody else wants to, has any interest in this. And I'm gonna put all this stuff out there publicly, because I'm gonna make a mockery of this thing, man. I really am. And, you know, it's gonna take a while, and I don't want to keep saying, hey, you know, I'm gonna get a lawyer and I'm gonna sue this and that and blah, blah. I am gonna do all those things. Somebody was being a little smarty pants yesterday on my comments. At when? What day are they going to jail? Haha, you're so funny. As soon as possible, ASAP. You know, you got $25,000 or $50,000 to throw at it, then maybe they'll go tomorrow. I don't, but I'm working on it. And you know, when you got $10,000 or $20,000, it's a horrible thought. Oh God, like I got to give this away just to. Yep, you really do. You really do. That's really what it's going to take. It's going to take a really good lawyer or a team of lawyers going into some serious courtroom situations, filing things, trying to get things happening that have never been done before. And all of this stuff is going to be, it's going to be groundbreaking, and I'm just gonna have to pave the pathway and take the hit, man. And I think that'll pay off in the end, and I'll get everything that I put in back. But it's just gonna take a while, and so. But I'm willing to do that for me, for myself, for my family, for you guys, for everybody. I'm willing to do that. So as soon as I can get to the point where I got 20,000 to throw at some lawyers, I'm gonna put the brick on their desk and say, "Will you take my case?" And I got a damn good one. I got a damn good one, and I know all the people that are involved with my situation and everything. But anyway, I got to get moving today, guys. Hope y'all have a good day. All day. Hustle all day. Every day, get everything you can get done. Get everything you can get handled. Make some money. Make some progress. Be careful. Have patience. Patience and planning. Time and people. Don't let them throw you off. Don't let them get you angry. Don't let them mess your life up. They'll never mess mine up again.